Greetings, all of you peoples. It is once again Friday afternoon, and I'm going to be doing this. Apologies, by the way, if you are hearing my laundry in the background at all, as it is supposed to be done by now, but it is not. Sometimes the laundry demons, they take their time. It shall cease at some point during this broadcast. We shall see. Okay, what am I doing? Things! It's always things. I seem to recall... Last time, I seem to recall we left off in this cave talking to Matkina. I think we had just finished getting new stuff for her. Oh yes, we're all leveling up. That's another thing. That's the tricky part about this evil plan I keep having in the back of my head to leave, to trade off some of these people in favor of getting other people. These people keep leveling up, so I don't know if I want to leave them behind or not in favor of much less experienced folk. But we shall see. Well, Cipher System, it doesn't matter as much, but this here is a Vidya game, so one wonders, why is there a hole leading down there? Did we dig our way here? We did. That's how it happened. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Okay. So that leads to the caravanserai. This leads back to the underbelly. And we're here, and Makina's over there, and we're doing stuff. Okay. Apparently we can loot that barrel, but I don't know if she will like that. We'll have to find out. Let us level up, everyone, and figure out
here
kind of what we're doing.
now.
Yes, great, thank you. Yes, both here and now. Yes. Clay containers, smell of cheap wine and spoiled food. A dirty wash basin sits atop a barrel of stagnant water. Wait, where did that other one go? No idea, because I clicked the wrong thing. Caravanserai, okay. I have thoughts.
Coming.
I just want to see what's down that way. The final words of countless men and women, some are scrawled on the wall, some apologize to loved ones, while others rage against an injustice or slight. A few left only their names. Oh.
You've got it.
And that way lies mist. Cave opening to Caravanserai. Interesting.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's find out if she's going to want to kill us for taking her stuff before we do anything. Okay, she doesn't seem to be trouble in.
Let's go.
Father Teller. The small polished disc looks like a handheld mirror, but anyone who looks into it sees an image of their father or their species equivalent looking back at them, mirroring their every move. When you hold it though, all you see is your own face. That makes sense. Interesting. A tunnel once led in this direction, but the ceiling has collapsed. I'm very curious to see where all this leads.
Here I go.
But let's go ahead and level everybody up. Alright. What do we want? We can do anything, which means I'm going to be paralyzed with indecision. Let's see. Shall we increase the pools, increase the edge, increase more effort, ability or skill, get new abilities or skills? What are our choices? I can up my machinery lore, up my anamnesis, That's not... I got an idea. Up my mystical lore. Or I can actually get other stuff. So let's see. Initiative. Cipher use, there's an idea. Just want to see what I got going on here. I think I should increase my... Actually, you know what? Yeah. I think... And, I mean, these would be good. Onslaught would be awesome. Because I didn't do too well with it last time. But I also want to carry more ciphers. Ah! Alright, that's done. What about you? It's a good question. Let's try giving you more effort, see what happens. Okay. I want to quicken your fingers. Which, I mean, you know, it's not that bad. Sucker Punch, Issue Challenge, Faint. Didn't we have these things already? Huh. I mean, my primary use for these people is as batteries. But quicker fingers would be helpful. The ability to do some degree of damage in combat would be helpful. Except if I'm going to be dropping him off. Let's just increase his effort. Let's just do that. And all we can do with her is increase her effort, so that's done. And Cloak of All. Cool. Oh, that's good. And resourceful or innervate. Oh, that would be good. Let's make her heal people. Tier 2 is awesome for this character. Running, healing, perception. Stealth. Let's up her stealth. So we can make her more effective at that. Good. Excellent. She's becoming more useful. Which is nice. Okay, I'm going to save one more time before we go up to a different place. Is there anything else we need to talk to Matkina about? Again, and farewell. Okay. Matkina. Let's see where this ladder goes first. Though weathered, the rungs of this ladder are firm and strong. At the top of the ladder, you can see a closed hatch, and you can also discern the levers, or levers, depending on which side of the room you're standing, that hold that hatch snugly closed. Interesting. One would presume that this is a hidden location. Yeah, we're just sort of there. Ah, now we can go back and forth, though. Very cool. Okay, it's under the caravanserai. Nice. I want to see where that cave entrance goes, though. Before we bop around up there some more. Because it also is to the caravanserai, but it's a different part of it, perhaps? Hmm? Interesting.
Yes.
Jump off the ledge, yes. No. From this height you can see everything. Beyond the city of Sega's cliffs, bluffs, and chasms extend toward the horizon on either side for at least 50 kilometers. The sea stretches between them. Perhaps 20 kilometers across at its widest. Then the waters widen and swallow the horizon. Interesting. The tiers of Sega's cliffs spread out to your right, a jumble, I say, of streets and buildings. To the left is the opening of a dark chasm. Tendrils of flesh cling to the edges like vines. The ocean lies almost 1,000 meters below you. Dark and dangerous, scavenging and fishing stoops crawl slowly across its surface. The rooftops of a few Sega's homes jut from the cliff's surface, but mostly it's a clear drop to the sea. I am not going to jump off yet. I am thinking about it.
That's something I could do.
Jumping off is kind of ridiculous. I just wanted to see what's down there. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, this is the cliff part of Sega's cliffs. I know that jumping off would be a terrible idea. I understand that intellectually. However, one must find out these things. Just because, you know. Is it really... My suspicion is it's just a quick ticket back to the, back to that place in your head. You leap into the air, the fall is exhilarating. Wind rushes past you faster and faster, stretching your face like it was made of putty. The boats in the sea grow at an alarming rate. The calls of fishermen and scavengers reach your ears, distorted by the speed. Finally, you slam into the water. The impact is hard as if it were an ocean of bedrock. Then there is only darkness. And the red tide went up.
I'm hurt.
Really? Mostly I just want to see where it is that he wakes up. I mean, here, obviously, but... Hey, how's it going? Just stopping by. I don't think there's actually anything over there that I need at this point. So I'm gonna go back. Oh, no. No, they just bring you back there. Damn it. He's alive again. Welcome back. Oh, he's alive again. Okay. We're not going to actually have done that. For that is silly. But, you know, it's good to know where these things go. And it was fun watching him jump off the cliff.
Yes.
Let's head back now. I mean, presumably... No. I wonder if that cave-in used to go to wherever the under that freaking dome.
Let's go.
Wherever that is.
Yes.
Actually, before we go, is there anything I want in the caravanserai? you know where we're going next. We're going to the journal so that I can remember what we're doing. On the Builder's Trail. So yes, we've switched missions. So we finally finished the Cold Calculating Jack. Excellent. I've learned the name of the Castoff who helped build the resonance chamber. He's called Mazov, a talented builder and artificer. I hope to find him in Mille Avest, a refuge of sorts for my Castoff siblings. Mille Avest is hidden from prying eyes. It can only be accessed from the first Castoff's tomb in the Valley of Dead Heroes. I can hire an airship at the caravanserai to take me to the valley. Master Renio has a ship that can take me to the valley. Unfortunately, he says that a thief stole his other airship and he refuses to fly anywhere while the thief walks free, and I've got to figure that out by settling the debt by talking to someone influential, which is where things get weird. The anechoic lazaret. Yeah, still got to deal with that crap down there. Servant of the Tides. Would be nice to be able to bring along. I'm gonna have to drop people off. I think that's the only way I can actually do this. Eyes of the Adversary. How do you freaking do this one? Because I looked at everybody, I drank all the drinks, and to try in an effort to try to trigger something. Single adversary survived. Find and confront his old enemy. The adversary is somewhere close, watching his friends. Somewhere in the fifth eye, concealing itself from them. If I encounter anything suspicious, I should tell him at once. And I talked to everyone in the fifth eye, and that was it. O was not the adversary. Isig was not the adversary, although trapped in the form of Navicos. Clarion's not the adversary. Sir Arthur's not the adversary. Ghostly Woman's not the adversary. We know who that is. Almas is not the adversary. Who is? That's all the people in there. So, maybe more conversation trees and bits that we haven't done yet. And plus, you know, I can try to convince the dude to put his words into my labyrinth. At the same time, once we deal with that, then we could deal with this. Because, you know, there's this whole adversary situation. So this one, fixing this one will fix that one, I think. So it's either going into the fifth eye and doing a bunch of conversation trees, or try to range around to see if there's someone influential who will help you with the airship situation. Or diving back in there. I think before I dive back in there, I am going to switch up a couple of my people. I think I'm going to have to. So, yeah. We've got to drop off some... I think what's going to end up happening is I'm going to trade off him for a while for Castellage so that I can go down and look at that final machine and figure out what the hell it is. And we'll see what her abilities are, and if they're not better, I'll trade back. That's for him. And then for Aligaran, and then for Tiber, I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna try to substitute someone else for Tiber, which would be, I mean, he's got some skills we don't have, but I'm pretty sure that, I can't remember the name at the moment off the top of my head. What's his name? Eratus. That Eratus is the, is another Jack, I think, maybe? So it might come in handy to switch out. So I could possibly, Eratus might be a good substitute. She's not bad at convincing people and such, but I don't want to lean on her too much. But I am going to be keeping her around because it's, at this point, it's a story requirement. What that also means, though, is that I am going to have to, in order to get to come along, let me see, and then there's another thing. Matkina. What about Matkina? I'm going to have to drop someone in favor of Matkina. I have a feeling it's going to be, yeah, these additional, I think what I'm going to do, I'll drop him, pick up Castellage, go down and look at that machine. Drop Castellage, pick up Matkina. I think Matkina will be more useful against the things in the lazaret. Eritas might be more useful than him too, but we'll have to see. I don't know if I can actually solve that yet. I have no idea. But will probably end up replacing him because I didn't get. I decided to keep Rin along, so I have to hold on to Rin. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think let temporary. If I cannot get at Eritas before we go into the lazaret, I think I'm gonna go ahead and swap him out for but we will see. Also, these are people who do not like me as much, so we will see. And he likes me. He no longer reveres me or whatever it was. Yeah, these things happen. Okay. And also, I don't know if dropping people off is going to make them like me less. The fools, the bastards. All right. Let's see. So, that said, given that that's the order of things, I think... So, the question is, do we go and try to dive through dialogue trees again first? Or do we go swapping people out and exploring first? I think that's really the question. I think swapping people out might help us a little bit with the whole conversation tree thing, so that could happen. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think we'll do that. We'll try that. Okay. We're about to mix things up in a crazy way. Not too crazy. Slightly crazy. Alright. So, let's go back up to the caravanserai.
I'm ready.
I'm glad someone is. I mean, well, actually, you know what? Here's one other thing I wanted to check, and I want to do it before I forget again. Because there are too many things to remember. Okay. Hey, we're back. Quick question. If you've removed your people deeper underground, can you take me to your old lair? And I think that's probably the same place where we were, but... It empty now, no stika, no eggs. The creature regards you carefully as if trying to discern your purpose. Then you catch a scent like fresh air sweeping through the tunnel. The equivalent, perhaps, of a dismissive shrug. We take egg, friend. No need to pay. Okay. I just want to know if this is that same place totally, or if it's... Yeah, it is. Okay. We hit all the spots. I think. There was nothing further down here that I could get at. I thought. Unless there is something further down there. Well, I mean, I ran all the way down here. Didn't see anything else. Alright. Let's head back.
Go.
Go! There were a couple of folks I wanted to talk to, just in case. Some loose ends to tie up. Pull some hay. That's a thought. We're not really wandering, but it's all that came to mind. What are we overwriting? I'm concerned now.
I'm going.
Now all I can do is like promise him to get off. Alright. Which I don't want to do. Looking for updates to things, I suppose. All these characters, all these things. There needs to be like a freaking relationship map. Alright. We want to go to Government Square. Elegant's life is over there. Yeah. Are we gonna part with Aligarn here, or are we going? We may as well. If that's what we're doing, if we're going immediately to pick up someone else. Alright. And here I thought we were getting along so splendidly. The irony in his voice is betrayed by the hurt in his eyes. Oh. I'm fine. Headed off to my workshop. Goes in his blood, whatever he said. Okay. Alright. Here's stuff to do, man. You know what I should have done, though? That I didn't? I should have gotten his stuff. I forgot to get his stuff. Let's wait until we're actually about to pick someone else up before we, Ah! Before we go that way. See, these people don't... the trouble is when you swap people out, they might not like it. And that's a consequence, unfortunately. And I understand. I get it. Let's tell Sigyn the good news and see if perhaps she is important enough to be able to help me with something else. Nope, nope. Well, that's gratitude for you. Alright. So is there someone powerful who knows for you? By the blank there, you need to find a powerful person to render a favor. And your request is denied. Alright. I mean, blackmail as little as possible. Another possibility, of course, is to go in here and trade for more secrets. I may have to do that. Figure this crap out.
Alright.
Before we resort to that, though... Well, here we are. Now I have to get rid of him. Let me see what this replaces. Oh, you know what? I bet I've already named a bunch of stuff wandering. Yeah, that's what it was. I was naming it the same as another file. Okay, here we go. Oh, Alligern. Fine, we need to again find my workshops in the underbelly. So long. I know, it's sad. Again, I forgot to get his stuff. Why do I keep forgetting that? Fish people. Alligern, I have something very important to ask you. I need you to give me all your stuff. Can I carry more ciphers now? I can! That's good, because I'm gonna need them back. Yeah. He can carry a lot of ciphers, too. That sucks. Alright. Well, so much for that. I have no idea what I just picked up. Gravity bomb. Okay. And what's this? Humanoid husk. Okay. I'll give you that. You can carry a cipher. You carry. You be that. You be that pack mule for a while. Okay. Let's see. What did I give him that was so awesome? Only usable by Alligern. Only usable by Alligern. Shield. So I'm going to take from you your... Give me your gun and your badge. There we go. Alright. Here. Alright, there we go. Now we can get rid of him. Now we can cut him loose. Okay. Good news! I've forgotten all the stuff that I need to do in here.
My scintillating wit was lure enough to bring you back, I see.
Yep, afraid so. Yes, we will join you. Excellent. I have finished here anyway. Okay, great.
How may I guide you?
It's been so long, I cannot remember what your deal is. You are Tier 1. We are Tier 2. But you have ranged weaponry, and so I like that about you. Alright. You can also carry ciphers. I like that as well. I'm just curious to know. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Doing begets learning, I guess.
It could. Okay, I think Salamari is the one who sent me down to go into the Lazaret. Snurf is investigating various things, and Tan Liang is the head person, and Lan Uring is the spy. And we were trying to help in some strange way, for some strange reason. with the husk. I hope this isn't a long-term visit. Simply passing through, Min, darling, Kessler says. Don't bother setting an extra place for me at the dinner table. Same slight smile, Min turns his full attention to you. Good, good. There's something about her I've always found unnerving. Really, you two? What do you need? Lion Earring's been spying on you. Master Artisan said you should come visit more often, even if you don't like the smell. It did not, he says, flinging his hands in the air. It did. He covers his face in his hands. Word of advice, he says, muffled. Never buy lunch from the meatmonger before you go for a chat with Master Artisan, because if you get sick, even a little bit, someone will never let you forget it. One time, it was one time. Was there anything that I needed to cover here? Okay, I think we're actually quite good. I mean, we could tell him that, but let's not do that yet. Trying to refocus and remember all the things that I was supposed to be doing. Oh, hello. Claim it as your own. What's that implant do again? Keeps me awake so I can study longer. Great. What's your area of study again? An intelligence that can find, test, identify, categorize, use all the Numenera in the world. Okay. Hang on. I'm gonna save the game again. Also, out of curiosity, transdimensional onslaught. That sounds fun. Okay. You can claim it as your own. Become an Eon Priest. Why not? You will? He says, blood draining from his face. Is that allowed? You're devoted to research. Look at this as an interested colleague supporting your studies. No, but who cares? You still win. Probably not still. Yeah, blue tide. He flushes so deeply it's a wonder his clothes don't burst into flame. Thank you. I'm ready. What discoveries have you made? That's a bit too much. Sort of discoveries will help you. Really major ones. The causes of long-term standing problems in the city, for example, are solving a mystery that's remained unexplored and explained for a long, long time. Well, come back with that later. Okay, oh, I'm alright. I do have more questions about the Mamavra. I mean, we know that he's in the Mamavra's pocket. I know. Oh, greetings, Tales from the Fandom. Thank you for coming. I appreciate the lurkery. As we come back. Let me see here. You know about this? Do you know about the stick and the damage they've done to the city? Who was killing people in the underbelly and how? Yeah, we don't want to renew aggression against the Stika, so I'm not going to give him that one. Who was killing people in the underbelly? I mean, that's kind of out at this point, so I can do that. But that also there's more going on there. I discovered some probability engines under the city. I kind of am not done with those yet. So let's be done with those first before we tell them about those. I'm okay to tell them about them, but give us a minute. Alright. Because I gotta take Castellage down there to take a look. I wish there were a way I could go there directly, but sadly I must go there by Stika. So let's do that. Also, I think bringing Castellage around to look at different things might be helpful. Part of the reason we're doing it. And that is a thought. Oh. Yes, we'll see. Where are we headed? Oh yes, we're heading. Headed over here to checked. I'd like to go to the Changing Gods Sanctuary. And there we are. Or close to it.
Let's go.
Let us go, indeed. Out of curiosity, I just want to see, there was a thing that popped up. Okay. Yes. This is, oh, my dearest place for your creators. We must search it and search it exhaustively. Yes, I know. I actually want you to look at this machine, if you don't mind terribly. As you approach the machine, Castellage rushes to examine it more closely. This device. Your sire used it to maintain access to the data sphere. I must know how. Did he leave notes nearby? Sure. Let me figure that out. 85%'s not bad. 100% is better. Critical success. Excellent. You feel an itching at the base of your skull. Suddenly, your right hand starts moving of its own volition, jabbing down to touch the nearby floor in a frenzied, purposeful series of movements. Next to your feet, a stone compartment slides open. It reveals a leather-bound journal within. This leather-bound journal is filled with study and data sphere analysis, it says. This leather-bound journal is filled with various diagrams, notes, and observations of the machines you found near the engines buried beneath Sagus cliffs. The handwriting is your creator's, and it chronicles his analysis of the datasphere, the net of information that surrounds and permeates the world's air. Ah, yes. Nanites, perhaps. Or whatever the, several generations later nanites. Some people have drawn power from the world, and others have found a way to transmit knowledge in the blink of an eye. It seems that these machines may have been intended to transmit consciousness itself, or at least to take a rudimentary first step in that direction. The exact steps are unclear, though someone with an extensive background in consciousness transfer or machine intelligences might be able to recreate his work. Excellent. Castellage approaches with reverence. May I? She asks, holding out her hands for the book. No! Mine! Of course, it's more useful to you than to me. It belonged to my sire. I'd like to look at it first. What, this? Put the book into your satchel. I mean, I just sort of opened it, and there's no way to use it, but we'll see. Blue tide, silver tide. I see. She considers you, folding her hands demurely in front of you. Is it because you don't trust me with the knowledge it contains? No, don't answer. I will find out what it contains eventually. She returns to looking at the Numenera without a backward glance. But don't think I will forget. Oh, God. All right. Does she hate me more now? I just wanted to read the book. And I get nothing out of it. Okay, never mind. Let's do that better then. Good lord. Let's just load the autosave, shall we? Okay. Alright, let's do that again. Unfortunately, I gotta throw that crit away. That's a thing we didn't get to do. Just a regular success. Unfortunately, I do not get those points back. Ah! Okay. Let's go ahead and make sure that we've done that. Alright. May I? Of course, it's more useful to you than to me. She turns it over in her hands, examining every inch of the binding. Your sire always has such marvelous craftsmanship, she murmurs, slowly releasing the drawstring that binds it closed. As she flips through the pages, slowly at first, then faster, you catch sight of diagrams, notations, and drawings, all of them of your sire's machines beneath the city of Sagus. Lost the item! Ah, see, she likes me better now. Thank you, Castellage breathes without looking up and moves away to continue her study of the book's contents. Yes, interesting. She catches you looking at her. His observations on the datasphere are fascinating. Nothing I can share yet. It's purely conjecture. This could be what I've been looking for. Jeez. Even so, please be careful. Accessing the full unrestrained datasphere might be dangerous for you. She follows a quick glance at you with a scoff. Dangerous? Surely not. Oh yeah, no, yeah, go right ahead. She raises an eyebrow and waits. I have so many things I could ask her now. Alright, first of all, let's ask about Koro. He's a knave and a blackguard and clever when it comes to Numenera, nothing close to myself, of course. Where we are right now, she takes a quick look around as if sizing up surroundings. He's tried to kill us, hasn't he? She shakes her head. Really? He's a dangerous fool and we're good to be rid of him. Interesting. Cult of the Changing God. Grudgingly, I must admit that they seem to have the required answers. I would not have thought they would be so helpful, frankly. Can we talk about them again? Alligaron was right, I was wrong. Who knew cultists might hold real secrets? I know. You told me about the Order of Truth? It's a place of science, of inquiry, of searching for a way to shake the chains this world has bound us with, and maybe someday even cut them. Every person there has the spirit of an adventurer, and some, she continues in an offhand manner, like our erstwhile companion Alligaron, simply don't have the wherewithal to voyage to the depths required by intelligent human endeavor. Good lord. Dendro of her. They conserve knowledge, which is surely valuable. However, they also keep it to themselves. We cannot yet extract memories for all to benefit, and they don't go so far as to write down what they discover. She raises one shoulder in a languid shrug. I don't fault people for their tastes, culinary or otherwise. Do you know anything about the Children of the Endless Gate? Scant little, I'm afraid. I've only heard that they're a splinter segment of the Dendra who have sworn war on their compatriots, preferring to make corpses rather than preserving the memories of those who die by other means. I spoke with one once, but she was less than forthcoming with the revelations provided by her faith. Many would cast them as incurably mad, but that is simply a matter of perspective. Some cast me in that light, after all. I need to take her around and have her talk to a bunch of people. Yeah, I might want to... This is an interesting idea. I may want to swap out Tiber as well for just to see what that effect has. What effect that has. I can't speak anymore. Can you tell me anything about the Endless Gate? Wait a minute. Yeah. Only that it's at the heart of the beliefs of the children, whether they were ever able to open such a gate or not. She maintains a solemn expression, but the echoes behind her laugh and pull faces. She follows your gaze and frowns. At least I retain an open mind toward the myriad possibilities this world may provide. What's your story? Oh, you know, this and that. Lady raised in high society, becomes renowned intellectual, goes on to humiliate her peers, etc. She glances at you as if gauging your interest. Of course, I am exceptional, but my story is less so. It would bore you to tears, no doubt. What is it you hope to accomplish by traveling with me? So direct. I shan't be coy either, then. Your sire, the Changing God, was a nano of surpassing ability. Your search for answers is likely to cross his trail at multiple points. He must have researched the datasphere at some point, and I hope to study his work to address my own particular situation. Ah! Well, there we are. Yeah, maybe this book that I just handed you will have something to do with it. She waves her hands across her body. I am what you might imprecisely call a nascent, cross-dimensional hive mind. What I must decide now is whether to continue this experiment. My sisters, you see, they are a blessing and a curse. One moment, she addresses them. Hush, you know it's true. I've thought it, so therefore you've thought it. We have no secrets from one another. She smiles thinly. You see, even if in my thoughts we are not alone, we seek, let us call it closure of some sort, of our association or of our individuality. Uncovering your sire's knowledge of the datasphere could likely determine my direction. If we cannot find a suitable home in the datasphere, we may have to terminate this process, but that presents pitfalls of its own. What can you tell me about the datasphere? Its great structures exist all around us, piercing realities. This is what your sire knew. This is why he built those lovely machines in the buried crossroads. With the information he found there, the knowledge of the ancients was likely at his fingertips. She taps her lip. I do wonder why he abandoned that line of study. Where did you grow up? Why, here. She holds out her hands and completes a graceful turn. The walls of Sagus were my cage until, like a bird, I took flight. Figuratively, you understand. I speak of knowledge, not mere physical movement. I grew beyond the grand library in short order and was soon writing texts for it myself. The library holds no answers to the questions I asked of it. Who are all these echoes of you? They are me. We are part of each other, sisters across infinite realities. We share our experiences and power. What's that old saying? That experience brings wisdom? I must be the wisest person in Sagus Cliffs. The wisest across countless worlds. Her laughter peals out. How did you meet Aligarn? I suppose there's no harm in indulging you, she muses. You've shown yourself competent in many endeavors, and this should be no different. She arranges one sleeve diffidently. Aligarn and I met when he came to the Order of Truth seeking help. Naturally, I was intrigued by his predicament. More so than the man. She smiles, but absently. He had lost his family, you see, and sought their return. He had brought with him an odd frame of unknown origin that was central to his tale. The stuffed shirts of the Order were more interested in picking apart Aligarn's story than they were in examining the frame he had brought with him. The task fell to me, so I undertook it, and for that Aligarn became enchanted with me. Eventually we became lovers. He was pleasant enough in bed, I suppose, though he lacked any real enthusiasm. And the crying! She rolls her eyes, arm thrown dramatically across her forehead. This pitiful childlike snuffling when he thought I was asleep. She shakes her head in disbelief. His family was gone. There was no more he could tell me, and I had learned nothing worth telling him. You saw the end. I've moved on. Jeez. Ah! Why were you and Aligarn together if your relationship was so poor? Guilt, she says, for him at least. He desperately wanted to save someone. For me, it was a matter of necessity. She sighs and shakes her head. It was my own research that led me to this state, but despite access to 1,000 worlds, I was no closer to achieving my goal. and my sisters were ever closer to plotting my annihilation. She laughs. You see, in an effort to extend my own life, I chanced upon versions of myself that would end it. It's true. Some of my echoes seek to become the sole survivors, or to rule over the rest. And so I sought a way to return to my base state, if you will, a way to control my future. I had found some notes of your sires, notes that hinted at a machine capable of merging multiple selves, of concatenating various minds into a single entity. Oh, hey, yeah, that's been turned off. Naturally, it seemed a welcome solution to my predicament, but his clues as to its location were useless to the utmost degree. She frowns. Allegren had met the man once. It was more than I had to go on, and I was feeling less than patient. She waves a hand wearily. From there, you know the rest. Yeah, so about that. Did you say some of your other selves wanted to kill you? Why? She is silent for several long moments. I don't know, she admits. I've tried to reason with them, but they are beyond it, or at least immune to it. They blame me for opening all our minds to each other, but had it not been me, another version of me would have. She laughs. In fact, it was a host of me that did. I am not alone in this. Across countless realities, we came together simultaneously. She closes her eyes briefly. I wonder sometimes. She looks to you as if searching for an answer. Would it have been better to be one of the other Castellages, to have no choice in the matter but to be connected, without my prior knowledge or consent, to have my memories, my secrets, bared in 1,000 other realities, knowing they could never be used against me, but aware all the same that they were known? She passes a weary hand in front of her eyes. So I understand those of myself who reject this change. I do. I no more choose to share myself with them than they choose to share with me. But that does not mean I long for their destruction, nor truly think it would have any great impact on my life here, and that is where we differ. The one point on which perhaps we shall always disagree. Fortunately, a great many others see the matter from my perspective. Interesting. Yeah. The reason I find that interesting is I actually had story time. No, I had an NPC in a game that I ran. It was Necessary Evil, which is a superheroes game, or supervillains game, and there was a supervillain character who had the ability to travel in time, and something that was kind of driving him was the fact that he had noticed this side effect from time travel, the way that I set it up in that universe anyway, that every time you change history, you then are in constant mental communication with your alternate self, whoever you would have been had you not changed history. And or maybe the other timeline. Anyway, you're in touch with your other self from that timeline, and if you do that many times, you end up with many selves in your head. So I set it up that there was one version of him that had learned to traverse realities and was hopping from place to place, killing all of his other selves to silence the voices. And so that was kind of a sort of an internal struggle that he was having with his other selves. I have other questions. How are you holding up? When two great minds complement each other, there's nothing that can't be accomplished. So it is with you and I. Because you're playing an Anno. Let's gossip about our friends. What do you think about Rin? A sweet child, strong-willed, given to wisdom and introspection. She reminds me of myself at her age. Still, we should examine her more closely. Some of the things she says and does border on delusions. I'm not sure I'm the one with delusions here. That's right, dear. Question those beliefs. What do you think about Tiber? The man is made of tall tales. I fear we shall never truly know him, though his armor wounds him more than us. I am standing right here, you know. Were you? None of us noticed. Okay. I think that's it. Okay. Let us get opinions on everyone on her. I'm talking to Rin now. And... what do you think of Castellage? She glances towards Castellage and her sisters. I don't know. I don't like the way they look at me, like they want something. Come now, child. What can my sisters possibly want from you? I don't know. Hair, blood, fingernails, my dying breath caught in a bottle? Castellage rolls her eyes. Children have such imaginations. You can't have that either. Nice.
Yes, lad.
I have been silent. Ha ha! I've just asked Tiber what he thinks of Castellage, and he says, I met her once, before she diversified. Lovely woman, but I'm not sure if more is better in this case. Well, do inform us when you reach a conclusion, darling. My sisters and I yearn for the opinions of aging criminals. Depend on it, dear lady. I'm going to ask him about because that didn't show up anywhere else. He's a charming little fellow, and pretty as balls of slime go. Curiosity. Can I do more with this machine now? Data flickers and flashes around this machine too quickly for you to make any sense of it. Let's investigate it again. You learn nothing new about the machine. Okay. Alright. We turned this machine off. But that was the machine Castellage was talking about. Dim and silent. Okay, that's all we've got.
Of course.
So she's probably not going to get to reintegrate, which is not great.
I'm ready.
Okay. So, do I ditch Tiber and pick up at this point? We're at the mirror, we could do it. Yes. Let me give it a shot. Yes, we're going to leave him down here. He can get out of here just as easily as we can. But first, let's take his stuff. How much stuff are we carrying now? Do we have space? Yes, we do. And that puts me at my cipher limit. I mean, you could hand a cipher to her, Castellage. Can she be trusted? Let's assume for the moment that she can. Yeah, let's do that. Give that weapon to Castellage so she can hold on to it for now. Okay. I took his weapon. Okay. I think it's best we part. Parting ways? Damn sorry to hear it. It's been a pleasure. If you have need of me again, I'll be at the caravanserai looking for a way out of this vertical slum. Okay.
I'm ready.
Now to do the thing with the mirror. Use the thin mirror to kill yourself again. Here we go.
I'm hurt.
Yep. All the pain. Okay. Good news! You can come! You want to come with me? Replies, surging toward you instinctively. You blink and it's gone. Still you feel the pressure of its presence around you. It may be waiting for you to return to the outside world. Here we go.
I'm going.
The impossible landscape of the labyrinth fades, and you once again feel the hard ground beneath your head. The mingled smells of the world outside your mind. Still too dizzy to open your eyes, you hear a voice. Someone is talking, not to you. They're talking to You seem friendly. I don't know why I feel that way, but I don't think I'm wrong. You feel weight edging into your side, nervous about all this attention. A castle edge of flickering shadow falls over your closed eyes. I'd like to study it further if we find the time. Will it be traveling with us, dear? Return to the labyrinth. Yeah. Only if it's useful to us. If not, we can get rid of it later. Yes, for now anyway. The light from eyes bathes the side of your face. Grimacing, you push yourself off the ground. You can use certain items and abilities, even during conversations, when interacting. Nope, there it is. It's a ball of slime. Wow, okay. Which way is the front? I'm not sure. Has a splorch. That's a medium ranged weapon. Yes! It's a boy and his blob. I don't know what a splorch is, but I'm sure we'll find out. I have no idea what these things are. This is very strange. Okay. Let's look at character sheet. Haptic armor. Wraps a portion of its body around an ally, offering them protection but leaving itself weakened. While in this state, cannot assist on tasks in conversation or use actions in crisis. Good lord. Boosted title insight. Reveals the title effects of dialogue options and reactivity based on your dominant tides in conversation. Okay. Is very strange. Alright. So yeah, now we're gonna try to determine its purpose, I guess. And we can talk to it. Hello. A dry leaf whirls past and it halts, tracking it with wide-eyed interest. What do you know about Sega's cliffs? Slowly, spins in place, taking in your surroundings before it returns its gaze to you. It says, rippling as though you've dropped a pebble into it. Waves bite the shore, stealing mouthfuls of sand and leaving shells in the hollows. Okay, I mean, yeah, physically that's about what it's like. Can I examine you? Seems to sense your interest and it glides towards you. Its eyes expand. No, they move, drifting towards the surface of its body like coins surfacing from the depths of a well. Like controls. Pet Oom. You run a hand over Oom's smooth back. Oom says, shivering. You touch the center of Oom's left eye. It is warm and dry, like parchment left in the sun. Ah, Rin breathes. You're touching its eye. You're touching his eye. You barely hear her.
I'll remember that.
Oom's eye unfolds in glowing ripples around the path of your questing finger, like the tumblers of some biological lock, revealing a deep layer of creased tissue. Good Lord. You feel Oom tugging at your mind towards a part of Sega's cliffs you left behind. The reef of fallen worlds, the laughter of children, the cones spinning and spinning. Oh yeah. When I touched your eye, you made me think of the cones in the reef. Why? Oom mutters, looking away from you. Its eyes contract, becoming pinpricks of soft light. Ripples surround the place where the stone fell. Ooh, okay. So those are related to where the stone fell. I assume he's talking about the Last Castoff falling into the... Huh. Interesting. The papery cilia of Oom's eyes scratch at your fingertips when nothing else happens. Okay. I do have other questions. I have some questions for you. Oom's eyes collapse and shrink at your question, moving to the ground. It could be a deference or embarrassment. It could be anything. And yet you feel a strange focusing in your mind, as if the part of it Oom occupied is preparing itself for your questions. In that moment, you feel the tides bending around you, tugging at you. You feel the impact your actions have made on the people you've met so far in your short life. You pass a hand over your eyes, and in that moment of brief darkness, the tides are visible as rings within rings, coiled around everyone and everything. Interesting. Why do I see images and strange symbols when I scan your thoughts? Oom grumbles, but its eyes contract as it concentrates. You feel a flurry of motion in the back of your mind. Oom looks up thoughtfully as its thoughts burst over you in a swirl of images. A clumsy hand selects stones from a pile. Select stones from a pile, polishing and painting them. A mosaic bridge arches over a ravine. Travelers from both sides meet in the middle. One saw a sun in the swirl of mosaics. One saw a pearl. That was even worse than normal. Oh, raises red tide. That was beautiful. Interesting. You mean you can use this to tune your tides? Oom does not reply, merely looks at you, waiting for understanding to dawn. And it does eventually. Oom will never speak to you, but it wants you to understand it. Metaphor is all it has. The images are its attempt at clear communication, bridging the divide between you. Oom says, watching your eyes, its eyes expand. What were you made of, Oom? Oom says expansively. A long tendril protrudes from its glistening flesh and goes inwards through the outside layer, past the eyes, into its core. Narrowing your eyes, you see what it is pointing at, a battered object with a mote of black flame at its core. Oom concludes, withdrawing and reabsorbing the tendril. Why were you in that mirror to begin with? Oom hisses, gazing past you. Its eyes contract to pinpricks of muted light. Behave or I'll banish you back to my mind. If I offended you, I'm sorry. Oom makes no further sound. You glance away only to feel a sudden weight lying over your foot. It is one of Oom's tendrils, draped around your ankle. It is shivering. The cloth tore, but there was always more. Oh, jeez. Pat Oom. Let Oom hug you as long as it wants. Kick the tendril away. You stroke Oom's back. At your touch, its eyes widen, unfolding and expanding, flicking from side to side as though it's forgotten where it was. With a slip, it releases your ankle. I should have let it just do it. I sense the tides more strongly when you're around. Why is that? Oom says, then pauses, tapping the ground. It says, or clarifies, and something stirs inside your mind. Ah, you did find Oom in your mind, after all. Maybe that has more of an effect than you first thought. A ray of sunlight falls through the water like an arrow, growing darker, stranger. I have other questions. Oom hums to himself. Let's talk about our companions. Oom says, extending a number of tendrils to flick and scratch the ground. Tell me what you think of Castellage. Oom's eyes dart between the ground and you. It says shortly. That hardly sounds like a glowing assessment, she says, her face unreadable. Not that I'm any expert. Oom's eyes collapse and contract, but it does not respond. Do you get along with Rin? Oom says, turning from side to side as if confused. Oom, I'm here, she says, sounding disappointed. I'm Rin, over here. Without turning around, Oom gently pokes her nose with a tendril. Ah! She shrieks, clapping a hand over her face. I thought you... Oom! It says, satisfied. It's playing with her. Actually, let's move on. Okay, that's enough of that. That's more than enough of that. Okay. Okay. So, where from here? Let us, oh, there's only one way out. You go back to the Stika lair.
Yes.
Oh, well. You know, I didn't think about this, but I actually could have just gone from there directly to, oh, jeez.
Yes.
Could have just gone directly from there to the circus. Let's just use that. That's the fast way out.
Go.
Circus Minor. I have not yet hit this thing of saying I'd like to join your group. I'm not necessarily going to do that, but we shall see. No. Let us see. What did I want to have Castellage take a look at? There was someone specific I wanted to show her to. Oh yeah, I wanted to actually take her back up to the to that tavern because she might have some insight about the
Standing around is kind of nice. Relaxing.
Yes, isn't it? Because she might be able to actually see this thing that we are looking for. Also, we got an Yeah, more information about this quest. Servant of the Tides. Oh yeah, we gotta go back to the floating cones. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, let's do that first. I'll make that easier. The only thing I have to wonder if it's like, would this be a thing that I should wait until we, if we put the Nectemeron out there first.
Let's go.
We shall see. The cones have not stopped whirling around each other. Perhaps they never will. You see reflection in their gleaming surfaces as they dance and find you can't look away. Roarn, a voice says from the space between the cones, and your vision blurs and goes dark. Oh, joy. A moon hangs over you, but it is not the one you recognize. It is black and in a pearl-white sky. Thick, flat asteroids orbit it like petals in the wind, and the air smells of scorched hair and grief. You feel a questing tendril at your ankle, and you turn. It's cowering at your feet. What do you want to show me? Instead of answering, skitters behind you, clinging to one of your legs. Movement in the pale sky draws your eyes up, up. At first glance, it seems like a hole in the air, dark as the void above. But no, bruised light pours from the hole, folding into the suggestion of a hooded figure, vast as planets. The sorrow, it is here, and it sees you. The shadow of it races across the land, a wall of black like a tidal wave. Tugs at you again, and you fall back through the land itself into light, into daylight. Huh. Wavering on your feet, you open your eyes, unaware that you'd closed them. The cones continue their merry dance as if nothing had happened. You look down at Were you really there with me? Or could the sorrow have killed me just then? In the vision, could I have killed it? Was any of that real, or was it something you made up for me to see alone? Why does the sorrow want to kill me? What have I done to it? Let me see which tide I want here, because now I'm forgetting. And it won't give me access while this conversation tree is going, so let me check something real quick. By cheating. I just want to remember what the tides represent. Because blue tide is the one that... Blue and silver have been the main ones that I think we've had, but I've had blue and gold. Gold is charity, sacrifice, and empathy. Silver is admiration of power and seekers of fame. Wait, yeah, that would track. Indigo represents justice, compromise, and the greater good. We could go with either one of those. Okay. So I'm trying to take these choices seriously. Let's raise the indigo tide a bit. Doesn't reply. Its gaze lifts to the dancing cones and stays there for a long moment. A wind sweeps dust from the surface of a sculptor's table. Ah, yes. Well, we know that. I mean... Alright, we'll let the silver tide come up a bit. Murmurs, tracing a long line to the ground with absent tendril, looks at you. Through you, a lightless ocean trench carved into the earth. Its eyes are circles, but the surfaces of them are textured, bent like a page of paper folded into thousands of shapes. As you watch, a ripple spills from their center, a flower unfurling, and something unfolds in your gut, and eyes gleam.
Making a note.
You sense there's more wants to show you, but you should finish inspecting these spinning cones first. Okay. Childlike laughter is their only response. Okay. What now? Learn from brought me a vision of the sorrow when I touched the floating cones in the reef of the fallen world. I sense it's ready to show me something new. Perhaps I need to inspect the creature's eyes again. Okay. Eye time. Let's see. Ah! You lay the tips of your fingers on upturned eyes. Celia spiral from your touch, its spinning, curling paths oddly reminiscent of the dancing of the cones in the reef. When these paths intersect, a jolt shudders up your arms, building a much-folded memory before your eyes, layer by layer. But this is not your sire's memory, no, it is locked in those glowing eyes until you freed it. It is dizzying, nauseating, barely comprehensible. It is a memory gathered with organs you don't have, etched into the strands and folds of eyes by grief, by agony. Distantly, your teeth dig into your lip as you concentrate, trying to translate this experience into something you understand. Squeeze eyes until the nausea subsides, or lean on for support. Let's not hurt Gasping, you fall towards hands outstretched into the dizzying vortex of sensation and memory. You see the changing God in his countless bodies in an instant that spans centuries. You feel the experiments he performs to extract your secrets. Feel the wounds opening, tearing, closing, opening, tearing, closing, over and over again. You speak, you plead. If he can hear you, he gives no sign. Not once in a millennia of torment does he acknowledge your voice. Hey, we hit the title! Okay. With a shout, you pull your hands from eyes streaming, choking, struggling for air. You find your breath and wipe the stinging tears from your face. Is looking up at you, waiting, its eyes collapsing, burying the secrets you learned beneath layer upon layer of Celia. You were a prisoner for centuries? You're that old? Tell me what he learned from you. Tell me now! He must have had a reason to do what he did to you. What was it? You must be strong to have survived what the changing God put you through. I mean silver and blue tides. With an absent tendril, it traces a series of short lines on the ground in a long rows. It stares up to you, eyes flickering and folding. Hungry hands snatch colored fish from a bottomless well.
Making a note.
It says, and a tendril wraps around your wrist, pulling your hand down, slipping between your fingers until they are spread to its satisfaction. Beneath each finger, a light blooms. I know, right? It's so sad. Beneath each finger, a light blooms, one for each finger, one for each tide. Concludes releasing your wrist. A flying bird circles a bonfire, delighting in the heat. Its feathers smoke and curl. Channel the tides through eyes. Good lord.
Updated my journal.
You gather the strands of the tides in both hands and lay your palms on waiting eyes. This time there is no nausea, no disorientation. Shedding human senses and gaining new ones, you fall into the memories of the creature, past the centuries spent in the changing God's shifting prisons, into a far more distant past. You see the narrow confines of the energy cage holding you. You hear the shrieking of the others. A word that causes you pain before this endless cycle of torment. There was no word for others. You feel the crackle of the cage, the burning as they draw power from you, from the endless wellspring within you, a violation on every level. When you gained sentience so long ago, you never dreamed that it would be used for this. You never learned the names of your captors. You only know that the changing god killed them, that he freed you because you were nearest, not out of kindness, but because of the secrets you held. The tangled force that he would discover when he experimented on you. The thing he would call, you concentrate trying to think of the word, the tides. You return into the present, shedding senses, regaining your own. It watches you, its eyes folding back into place like interlacing fingers. Oh, man. So many questions I want to ask here. The others I sensed in your vision, were they like you? Other Ooms? Hisses. A number of shivering tendrils emerge from its body. A glass ball strikes the ground, exploding into razor shards and shining dust. But for once, it doesn't draw on the ground. It sketches unfamiliar shapes in the air, unfamiliar shapes that your sire's memories faintly recognize. This is a language of liquid and currents, a language that is heard and seen, a language far older than the Ninth World and never intended to be understood by human eyes. Flinches as if surprised, or as if it forgot who it was talking to. Rack, it says, pulling your hand down towards it as it did once before. The 5 colors of the tides bloom beneath your splayed fingers. It concludes, releasing your hand. It wants to learn more, clearly, but you frown, not from a cast-off. You aren't sure where this thought came from. You catch one more glimpse of the glittering cilia at the depths of its eyes before they collapse once more. Why do I need to learn about the tides from someone who isn't a cast-off? Eyes flick between you and the empty air, then tentatively it draws a large circle in the ground, a horizontal line inside, a circle beside it. A circle behind it, okay. Circle, horizontal line, circle, okay. It looks up at you hopefully and sees your blank expression. Then it reaches up, touches the corner of your mouth, then the corner of your eyes. 2 pools side by side, one shallow tainted, one deep, clean, and teeming with healthy fish. Then it settles back, radiating satisfaction at a tricky concept explained well. Okay. If you taught the changing god about the tides, then I only exist because of you. Thank you. Eyes contract. Deep in your mind, you feel a note of tangible, wordless shock and pleasure. A lot of questions here. Why are you showing me your past? A shudder ripples through Oom's body, but it does not respond. A torch burns at the mountaintop, drawing the eyes of everything that lives in the dark. It burns not to keep the darkness at bay, but because it was lit. Man. Dharma Kenjalad at Tanagra here. Changing God wouldn't exist if not for you. Does that bother you? Grumbles. It is a conflicted growling sound. Oh. But not without a hint of pride. A captive moon spins across the world below, trapped in a smooth, unending orbit. Okay. So, I mean, that just sort of means it's gonna... This was going to happen. Why are you showing me your past? Alright. Traces 5 interlocking circles on the ground with a dot at their center gleaming liquid on the ground, but it does not otherwise reply. You want me to seek a better understanding of the tides from someone who isn't a cast-off. Who?
Making a note.
Considers this carefully. Then, without warning, an image as brief as it is clear flashes through your mind. A toothy hole in a man's body, a rift in reality itself, torn by your actions. An indistinct figure beyond that hole. You blink. If you understand the image rightly, you should seek out someone from beyond this dimension. You look to for confirmation, but the creature looks somewhat surprised by the vision given you. We've run into a couple of those, I think. Ultra-terrestrials? Maybe? I'm not sure. There are a couple of... there are a few options here. Can you teach me the language you were using before? Grumbles. A lone tendril flails irritably at the air with a whistling sound and snaps back into body just as quickly. It seems that thinks the air here is unsuitable for teaching the language. Okay. Touch the eyes. Eyes stir beneath your hands, as do the tides within you. Something is missing. You need a better understanding of the tides to see and understand what is trying to show you. Yeah, pet again. You pat again. Says the air suddenly smells of berries. It could be berries. I have other questions. Okay. I think we're good for now. Weirdness. I forget what happens when I touch this obelisk. It's been so long. Are you sending us back there? You're sending this... There's so many ways. Oh, nice. Okay. I'm so glad I saved the game. I mean, there are a number of objects I want to examine with around. And a number of people I want to talk to with Castellage around. This may be a thing that goes on for a little while. I'm not going to go down into the dungeon underneath here, but I do want to talk to Koro while Castellage is with us. Okay, that was brief.
I'm ready.
So actually, let's look back in the journal again real quick. I discovered more about past. A vision of its long imprisonment and torture by the changing god seems to be encouraging me to improve my affinity to the tides before I can learn more. Learn more about the tides and speak to him again. Showed me another of its memories, its long imprisonment at the hands of unknown captors in the moment where the changing god first learned of the tides. Now it seems the creature wants me to improve my tidal affinity even further, but not from a Castoff this time. I saw a vision of the person I should speak to, a being from beyond this reality opened through a gate in a man's body. That is in the tavern.
You bet. You bet.
Yes. Fine. All right.
So many things happening here. It's interesting. I'm gonna need to see how we do this. Alright. We could just go directly there. However, yeah, there are a lot of things we could just sort of wander around and look at and talk, people we could talk to. And there's a lot of people doing this lately, this sort of, the Sega's town person actually, just sort of doing that hoverboarding thing. It's very, very disturbing. Okay. But I think let us head to the bar. Cliff's Edge, Underbelly, Government Square. The bar is in Cliff's Edge. Yes? Yes. Oh, town person's floating east. Town person floating east. We can't stop them. Oh no. It's very strange. There are a bunch of things I want to look at and examine with Castelage there. So that may be a while. We'll have to see how this goes.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the being Isk was the being I believe we were talking about. The wispy form of Isk shivers and flutters. Now because as a feeder, a hunter not of this world, not of this time. Where are you from again? Distant time, unsure. Farewell. That's it? Want to help me out here? Alright. That wasn't helpful at all.
If you're sure it's safe?
Nope. It is completely unsafe.
Allow me.
Just trying to figure this out, right? There are a lot of, yeah, not showing any new things opening up here. Yeah, see, I'm trying to find the place on the conversation tree that's going to yeah, because it's like we're not going to find the adversary unless we have like a way of doing it.
Fine.
Okay.
Of course.
All right. Well, we may as well do this while we're here. I saved the game before I talked to everybody fruitlessly. So let's make ourselves more convincing, shall we?
There we go.
Words of Kra. I can contain them. Because I am persuasive. Because I am artificially persuasive. Because I'm juicing and therefore persuasive. You focus on it and you feel something like the skittering of spiders across your mind. They plunge inside and suddenly you sense his presence in the labyrinth. And you can feel his mind recoil. He snaps his eyes back to yours. Yes, I think you'd be an excellent vessel. Do not use the word. Keep it contained, do you hear me? Sure. Why, of course. I wouldn't dream of using that as a powerful weapon. He leans forward and whispers the word into your ear. It's a beautiful word, and you feel your tongue curling to shape it aloud. Thebros claps his hand across your mouth, his eyes tight on yours, and with his mind he drags the knowledge of the word into the labyrinth, into a disused corner, and he seals it with an image of steel glass and dark infinities of space. He leans back, panting. Sayobe. Yes? I need a piece of my mind cauterized. Here. He touches his hand to her temples, and she to his, and they lean forward, their foreheads touching. You see a flare of light, and he cries out in pain, but he doesn't let go. When they release their hold on each other, you see a small smoking hole in his forehead. I couldn't take the chance it would leave a trace of itself in there, he says. It's gone from me. It's your responsibility now. Okay, yay, now I've got that. Whatever that does. Still need your help in the endless battle. Maybe. Not while Dam is convinced one of the adversaries still lives. No. Besides, I've got other concerns. Maybe later. Okay. Alright. Did that get us anything? Anything at all? Anything? Words of Kra in my inventory? Anywhere? No. Nowhere we can access it. Oh well. Heavy blue and gold tied right now. I'll look at this information later. For now, though, let's see. So that didn't really help a lot. Just sort of solved that particular issue for that guy. But that's it. Right, so the adversary is here. Where? Or their streamers snaked. The train spotter to the right, okay. Share the idea, space with it. Plant metaphors reminiscent of your labyrinth. Turn the language that way when you've got the tendrils trapped. Close your mind, use the terrain to your advantage. Huh. Interesting. I mean, I guess there's a possibility the adversary is actually supposed to be like another name for the sorrow or something along those lines. But there were several originally. So that gives us all we could get there. I don't know. I do not know. Not sure what else we can really do to deal with this. A building sound occasionally rises from within this machine, as if a musician is trapped inside. That's where the adversary is.
Yes.
Trapped in a musician. Oh, wait. Yeah, trapped in a musician, trapped inside a pipe. Kind of the thing. We've talked to everyone that is or was here. Ran them all past you. There's not really much else we can do, you know? Alright. Well. Other things we could do. find someone else. That, I mean, the other people did have that description, I think. Being from beyond this reality, opened through a gate in a man's body. Possibly. Airship thief. Have to find someone with pull and the anechoic lazaret. Yep. Okay. I think we're gonna have to get Matkina and go down there. Because she probably is better at ass kickery. So we could probably do that. What else? Aside from that, it's just mostly just going around and chatting with people.
With alacrity.
With alacrity. That's really all we've got at this point. Could go back and sell more secrets. I don't know if that's going to get us anything. But it might.
On it.
I think we might have more secrets now, so that might be of help. I already harvested stuff from that machine. Like to find a way up here. Still haven't figured out how to get over here yet. Alright. So... Yeah, let's go up this way. Interact with these first. Just a little bit. Let's see here. Chernoff. What's going on? Who are these people? Oh, that's Chernoff.
Let's go.
Head up that way, see what happens. Well, this puts us back at the caravanserai. Alright. Ringing your bells when you an audience, becoming an instrument, finally slept like up here in the heights. He took my voice, but my blood sings, becoming I dream. I remake Numenera for wayfarers. They become as dreams as well. Together we go into the forest, to the ring where the Grand Hall once stood, and rebuild. I agree. Alright, that didn't trigger anything else new. Talk to Sylph. Alright, never mind. I think I blew something with, I didn't, with Sylph. I probably should have taken a different conversation path in that conversation tree. Figure out what was going on. Can't get there, it's being guarded. Okay. Anything new to tell them? Oh yeah, the peerless drones. Those are awesome. You draw an approximation of the Reef of Fallen Worlds, indicating the location where you met the peerless drones with an X and copying the orphan's original drawing next to it. The one on the left crouches and adds a few quick strokes that you take to be query for further information. One mind or many? After some thought, you draw one of the drones you encountered, then some more beside it for good measure, linking them all together in an attempt to indicate their connection to one another. The orphan on the right likewise crouches and stops your hand before turning to face its twin. Many peerless. Long moments pass before they look back at you in unison. Then they each reach inside themselves, withdrawing parts of an unidentifiable device. They fit the parts together, handing you a complete but curious Numenera, the likes of which you've never seen. You have the feeling they're very pleased to have this particular intelligence reported to them. Great help you provide. Great thanks you receive. Conduit rings. It's an artifact. Okay. Convert energized. All damage dealt is converted to the chosen type. This is a set of 3 rings connected by thin wiring that can be placed over the index finger. The metal is cool to the touch, but the wiring pulses with weird energies. Once activated, the 3 rings together act as a powerful conduit, siphoning different types of otherworldly power directly into your strikes. Mystical lore. With parts scavenged from the hulls of ancient vessels, this ornament was crafted into one functional whole by an ancient nano known as the Mintonian. His true name is lost to history, but his skill is undeniably beyond today's ken. Cool. I'll let you know if I find more. I liked that one. Yeah, no point going up here right now. Although... was there something I needed to talk to this dude about? This dude about? I can't remember. It's been too long. Alright. There are a lot of people to talk to. I must decide if I want to just run over and sell information or not. It is a good question. Oh, that's where Tiber is. Looks different. I do not know.
How many of you are there exactly?
Imagine the largest number you can think of. Multiply it by itself, as many times as itself, and you will have gotten very nearly halfway there.
I didn't think it was possible, but you just made my head hurt more.
That idea that you can never move from one end of a room to another because you have to travel half the distance each time. Alright, we're just going to save it here, I think, because... I mean, yeah, selling information, I kind of want to use that as a last resort, so I think we need to be thorough. We need to go around talking to more people first. Make absolutely sure that we don't get any different responses, because now we have different people with us that can reveal new things. We shall see. We'll kind of go from there. But for the time being, that is going to be that. As it is time for me to go. So, thank you again once more for watching. This is interesting. I think we're getting, we're digging more into some of the lore of this stuff, and all the stuff with was very interesting. Learning how to control the tides, and so we're going to have to go around next time and talk to more people, see if anything different is triggered with Castellage being there. I might do some of that off stream, just so that, because I don't know how much needle in a haystack type stuff we're dealing with here, right? I figure it's either that or just go directly to where there's where the lady is selling information in this island area, and Just buy it directly. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll have to think about it and see what happens and how much time I have between now and next time, and just kind of go from there. But as for things happening tomorrow morning, we have We Happy Few. I'll be playing that. Sunday morning, I'll be going back to Gold Rush Anniversary Edition, and we'll do the final route, the Overland route, which I think is the longest. And then finally do all the stuff you're supposed to do in California, which should be delightful. Then Sunday early evening, we're going to have more tabletop RPGs. We're going to have we're playing a Powered by the Apocalypse game called Bad Streets that Jib is running. Jib from Happy Jack's RPG podcast. It's a sort of a 70s cop show type thing, and so I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Then as we go during the week, let's see, Tuesday night I'm going to be over playing Urban Shadows on Off the Table on their channel. And then on Thursday we're going to have the finale of Dirty Secrets, this modern noir game we've been playing for the last 3 weeks. Things are shaping up very interestingly. We're getting very close to the end. So it's going to be interesting to see what develops there and how the mystery gets solved. Then, of course, that brings us back to Friday. So 1 week from today, we'll have more of this. So thank you folks very much for watching. I appreciate it. Take care, and I will see you all of a sudden.